If y'all know someone that needs the information, make sure you let them know. Go to bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N. You can do anything. I started talking about mindset shifts that will help you, that will ruin your business, right? And so the flip side of that is these mindsets will also help you double your income within 12 months time. So I'm going to give a little bit of a story time. I'm not going to get too far into it. We'll have to have like a get to know you session, and I'll tell you all about it, because I've shared lots of different things that have happened to me in my past and in my life and things like that. But people are always shocked whenever I tell them, because I have a pretty bubbly disposition for the most part. So once upon a time, I was married, okay? And inside of my marriage, the first couple years were really good, and then it got really bad. And I was married to a guy who sometimes didn't come home for like days at a time. I'm not even exaggerating. It's not like it happened once or twice. It happened frequently. He had issues with alcohol, and he did not want to go and get help. He also sometimes would become violent after he would drink, and we would have physical altercations, and he cheated on me from time to time. And during this whole period while I was going through this, I was keeping it a secret. I'm not a girl who grew up who like didn't have a father in her life or anything like that. Like, I have actually a really great relationship with my daddy, and one of the reasons I kept it a secret is because I knew that my daddy would like literally kill this man and like go to prison, right? And I was so messed up in the mind, I really, because it was so different, it was such a change. It's like I was waiting him to go back to who he was. And so because I wasn't just quite sure that I was ready to throw in the towel on the relationship, I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my sister, I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell my cousins. I like kept it a secret from everybody, what I was going through. But whenever you keep secrets like that, things start to eat at you, especially when you're left to your own devices and you're only inside of your own brain. So I got to a point, I was like spiritually bankrupt. I was definitely emotionally bankrupt. I was almost financially bankrupt, because around the same time I had a bad business deal go down with someone that I trusted, and I shouldn't have trusted them. And they took like $25,000 from me. And at that point, I was at a point where $25,000 will hurt your girl's pocket. Okay, $25,000 will hurt anybody's pocket, but at that point in time, it was like a real stress. Okay, to lose $25,000 like that. Then a girl that I thought was so-called my friend, and at one point in time, she had lived in my home with me and her child, and I took care of them and helped do whatever we needed to do. She found out her and my ex-husband were, sleeping together. I had a bad report from the doctor. They were like, you need to prepare to be in a wheelchair. Just in case you guys don't know, I have had 4 surgeries on my spine and a bunch of procedures. So it was not looking good for your girl. Okay. Oh yeah. And it gets gooder. Then at the same time, one of my ex-husband's mistress, like they were in a serious relationship. So I call her the mistress, because she thought I was the side piece, and I had to let her know, no, you the side piece. Right. But anyway, at the end of the day, she called me trying to check me about her man, honey, and I had to let her know, he is mine, okay? I don't want him no more, but still. And so not only did she call me and was, stressing me out, this heifer like knew what I did for a living. She had known all about me, and so she was on my Facebook business page, leaving me negative reviews, writing crazy stuff about me, like basically harassing me, because she thought she had a right? Because at this time she didn't know. She's like, he is not married. He's never been married, and he doesn't have any children. I was like, well, as far as I know, he ain't got no kids, but he's definitely married, heifer. I was like, go and look it up. It's public record, right? Side chick all the way out of pocket. She apologized though. Once she realized she was wrong, she did apologize. But anyway, long story long, this was a very stressful period in my life. And I definitely was like in a hole. I was beyond in a funk, and I was having a difficult time with just kind of everything. And so anyway, from this very traumatic situation or situations, compilation of situations that was going on in my life, from all of this like really negative things that I was going through, you know, I had a lot of things revealed to me, and I had to figure out honestly how to put almost every aspect of my life back together. The only thing that was not falling apart for me, and thank God for my family, is my family. Like my mama, my sisters, my cousins. I come from a very close family, and you know, that was a constant in my life, and that was the one thing that was not falling apart. So I can't say everything or every area was falling apart, but a lot of things, like I'm just saying, it wasn't looking too good for your girl at that point in time. And you're like, hey girl, hey. Y'all, that's Michelle, Dial M Style. Y'all follow her. Everybody that was asking about my lip gloss last night, that's where it came from, right there. So anyway, that's how I really got into the process of trying to shift my mind and take control of my life. And that's when I really realized, as I change and progress, then different people and things and opportunities would come to me. And so, because people always ask, they're like, you know, where did you learn this stuff? This stuff is really good. How did it happen? Because I went through one of the worst periods of my life, and I was in so much pain. I did not want to live anymore. Like, I don't know if anyone has ever felt that bad before, but I would just pray sometimes. I'd be like, God, just kill me. Just let me go to sleep and not wake up. It was bad. So, of course, he was like, that's not really what I got in store for you, Love Muffin. So I'm going to ask you to get yourself together. So that's where, that's how I learned these things. And I'm not going to say that the change happened overnight, but it definitely happened quickly, within 90 days. To be honest, within 90 days, honestly, like there was just such a transformation in my life, and it was because of these different mindset shifts. And as far as my income, you know, it's really weird. It was almost kind of like I found out a secret or something, or like a trigger. And I really started having, like, I don't want to use the word success, because I feel like sometimes we equate money and success too often, or we say that success is having, you know, a large sum of money. So I don't want to equate it to money, because I believe that success is much more than that. But there was definitely a shift in the form of increase in my finances. Okay, blink, 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 and it was a big one. It was a ginormous one. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, because I think that success and blessings, and I even think that wealth, I think that they far exceed monetary value. And I think a lot of times people are really quick to put, you know, say, oh, you know, they're successful because they make a lot of money, you know, or you're experiencing success. And that's not true, because I know lots of people who make a lot of money and they are miserable and they can't maintain any relationships in their life at all, you know, familial, romantic, personal, professional. Like they just are like walking balls of, you know, darkness, just to be honest. So that's what's that's true, Jackie, but I thought about it. So anyway, so last night we started talking about the 7, and I told y'all today I would share a little bit about my background and kind of how like all of these were revealed to me and how they helped me change things. And I told y'all that today you can ask me anything that you want to, you know, from the personal side or the professional side. And this is a different type of broadcast than we normally do, but you can only really talk about, you know, success and business and finances to a certain aspect. And you have to, like, life is whole. You know what I mean? As people can have all the money in the world and still be miserable. You can have all the clients in the world and still have an issue. You can have all the love in the world and still be, you know, broke financially, right? So it's about balance, and I just can't tell y'all one side and never talk about some of these other things. So thank you for reminding everybody to give hearts. I appreciate it. So For the 7, hey Janet from Los Angeles. The first thing that we talked about last night, that a big downer, people just run into an obstacle and they quit instead of realizing that obstacles are opportunity. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you're going through it. It sucks. It's terrible. It is beyond uncomfortable, and sometimes it's just downright painful. So I'm not gonna, so, you always have to remember that obstacles really are opportunities. It's either an opportunity to gain a skill set. It's an opportunity to see if you have evolved and if you can do better with this situation because maybe you were in it before. It's an opportunity to become creative and figure out a different way to do things or a different way to get stuff cracking, right? Obstacles really are opportunity. Number 2, I told y'all to prepare for a marathon. A common misconception people have, they think that success is quick, that it's overnight. Success is tiny wins. It's consistent, tiny actions, and over time, they give a huge result. Number 3, energy, emotion. That is what gives you emotion. And I gave you guys 3 really easy things you can do to shift your emotions when you're in a funk. Speech. So that is saying affirmation. Okay, like any type of affirmation or sounds or speaking the opposite of how you feel. Sound changes a lot of people's emotions depending on what music you listen to. It can encourage you, discourage you, make you want to get in the car and run over somebody, or make you want to run out and give someone a hug. Okay. And then the 3rd thing was movement. It's really difficult to remain sad. It's really difficult to be angry and do the butterfly or the Tootsie Roll. Real talk. Next time you get angry, or next time you're sad, or something happens to you to disrupt your day, go in the bathroom and close the stall and do the Tootsie Roll and see how long you can stay mad. Do the Cabbage Patch and see how long you can keep a funky attitude. It's going to be real difficult to do so. And another form of motion is helping other people. If I'm ever just feeling too sorry for myself or having a pity party, I love to assist other people because it will quickly put your problems into perspective for you, and you will realize that things are not as bad as they could be. Everybody's laughing. I'm telling you, look, go and try it. Next time you get upset or sad or something, try and do the butterfly or the Tootsie Roll and see how long you're gonna stay in that funk. It's not gonna happen. Okay, you're not gonna stay there very long. Number 4 is where we ended up last night, and a lot of us are holding on to things that no longer serve us. We hold on so tight to what we do know that, we don't realize when we're holding on with a death grip to things, we are not in the position to receive. Whenever I give, when I share, right? If I'm giving, my hand is open. If I'm sharing, my hand is open. Guess what? In order to receive, your hand has to be open too. So anytime you're holding on with the death grip to the things that you know, because you're so afraid about what's around the corner, you're not going to progress. And whatever other blessings and opportunities that are coming for you, guess what? You're going to miss them. It ain't no room. You ain't got no room because you're not even in the position to actually receive it. So you can walk through life like this, or you can walk through life like this. And when I say holding on to things that don't serve you, I'm talking about people. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about pain. I'm talking about hurt. I'm talking about misconceptions. I'm talking about bad ideas. I'm talking about poor products. I'm talking about grudges and animosity towards people. Like, it's unnecessary. Like, let it go. Let it go. Stop holding on to these things. They are weighing you down, and you literally are not in a position to receive all of the other blessings and fabulous things that are coming for you in your life. Okay. And number 5, this is where I think where we actually stopped at last night. And number 5 is it's okay to ask for help. Okay. No man is an island, and there are definitely some times where you're going to, be called to work solo, and you're definitely going to have to carry a lot of weight and do a lot of things and put in a lot of hours, but there are always people around you who are supporting you. Sometimes support comes from a kind word. Sometimes support comes from a prayer. Sometimes support comes from someone sharing, right? Sometimes support comes from a like. Sometimes support comes from someone purchasing something. Sometimes support, comes in the form of a hug. Sometimes support comes in the form of networking or someone sharing something else about you. Support comes in so many different ways, but you have to receive the help, and sometimes you have to ask for help. And that's something that I've struggled with my whole life, which is really strange because I love helping people. I really love to help people, and I will do just about anything for someone. I really will. And whenever I'm helping other people, I don't do it begrudgingly. I actually enjoy it. I never really think that those people are a burden to me, but for some reason, if I need help, right, and that's my ego and my pride, and I really have, God has really been working with me with it, that I will not ask for help. And sometimes people would come up and they would ask me, they say, hey, Ash, do you need help with something? Can I help you do anything? Or if you need someone to do this or that, I'm there. And I'm like, oh no, I'm okay. Knowing that I should have took that help because it would have allowed me to get an extra hour of sleep, or to finish up a contract, or just to not have stress to be worried about something. So, number 5 is it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to receive help. And a lot of times when you have 2 or 3 or 4 people working together, you can get things done so much faster. Okay. You can save so many more resources. You can save so much more energy, and you will have a smile on your face, and you make some new friends in the process. So there are definitely some times in life where you do need to forge on by yourself. I've definitely had those moments where I have to get out here, and your girl got to do what your girl got to do. And I can't wait on anybody to come with me. Like when I opened up our office in Dallas, I couldn't wait on somebody to come with me. I couldn't wait on a friend or a colleague or a family member. I couldn't be afraid to go into the big city and spend nights, and weeks and days alone by myself and meet new people. When I first went to Dallas, I didn't know anybody in Dallas. I had to make all new friends, all new business contacts, all new clients. I had to find a new neighborhood to stay in. Like everything was new to me when I went there, even trying to find the office and where we were going to set stuff up at. But I needed to go. And this is the thing though, once I left and I got there, I made new friends. I made new partnerships. I made new acquaintances. I had new opportunities, new people to contact with, and tons and tons and tons of new clients and customers. So, yes, sometimes we're called to go and do things and to step out and to move on our own. But even after you move on your own for so long, eventually someone's going to come along that can show you support and that can help you, and that you guys sometimes can help one another get to where you're trying to go at a much faster rate. Okay. So, it's okay to ask for help. Okay. Number 6, work to learn. Most people have the mindset of working to earn. A lot of people are working to get a check, right? I'm chasing that bag. I'm chasing that check. I'm going and getting these hours because you better cut my check, right? That is something that will keep you poor. That is something that will keep you from transitioning into a higher level of income. Real talk. That is something, okay? that is something that will keep you from growing your vision because you're working to earn instead of working to learn. To be honest, because I do believe that life is about balance, and I read a lot of stuff that's put together by millionaires or people that interview billionaires, and when I hang out with billionaires and stuff like that, I'm all up in their business. I want to know what they know. I want to know what they do. I like to see how they run their lives, and guess what? They make time for fun. They make time for family. Poor people, real talk, real talk, and I'm not trying to diss anybody, and when you think about what I'm saying, you're going to realize I'm telling the truth because I used to be in the same mindset. Poor people, okay? Working, when you're working to earn, that's what you're doing. When you're working all the time, when you're burning yourself out, When you're working 60, 80, 120 hours a week and you're neglecting your kids and you're neglecting your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're neglecting your spouse, when you're missing your sisters and your brothers' birthday parties and anniversary dinners, and when you can't ever show up, because I've been there. I worked the first 3 years I opened my company, I worked non-stop. I did not take a vacation. I went 3 years, didn't even buy myself a new pair of shoes because everything was being poured into my business, because I felt like in order to be committed to it, in order to get to success, in order to deserve some monetary amount that I was looking for, that I had to work like that. And if I wasn't working like that, then I really wasn't grounded. And if I wasn't working like that, then I really wasn't worthy, of all of the things that God has blessed me with right now in my life. And that's just not true. It's not. Whenever I switched my mindset and I started working to learn instead of to earn, and I figured out that I really should be following the 80-20 rule, and it is important to learn how to balance and how to take care of yourself and spend time with your family and spend time with yourself spiritually, and make sure you have time to go to the gym and vacation and see the world, because what good is all of this money if you can't spend it? Like, real talk, not to sound cliche, you can't take it with you, but you can't. Yes, I'm responsible and I save and I put up and I'm planning for my future, and I'm trying to make sure that there's something left for my future children and my children's children and that sort of type of thing. But at the same time too, I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And whenever you switch over to a learning mindset instead of an earning mindset, and we're focused on working smarter and not harder, that's when I think you really start to transition into success and into being wealthy. Because if I understand the value of my time, which I have a great valuation for my time now, and back in the day I did not have a great valuation for my time, because I understand time is the only thing on the planet Earth we cannot get back. Okay? That's real. There's all kinds of stuff you can get back. There's all kinds of stuff that you can replace, but your time is your time, and it's not coming back. And so once you really, really, really understand that, you will turn around, you'll be like, what am I doing? Right? And what really helped me, y'all, and I told her this, so she's not going to be offended. I'm not going to call her name out though, because she may not want all her business put out like that. But I have a friend, and she's older than me. She's in her 40s, and I remember watching her go through an awful marriage. And her being locked in and not wanting to leave. And she had been with this guy since she was a teenager. And he really did not appreciate her. This was not her saying he doesn't appreciate me. He didn't know. Like, this is me observing, just watching kind of, their day-to-day lives, their interactions with one another. The fact that he had a side chick and she'd have to call the side chick and be like, hey, you need to stop calling me. It's Thursday. It's my day. Okay. He'll be over there tomorrow. Leave us alone. Like, you know what I mean? All these, like, just crazy stuff. But I watched her, and I was like, dang, she gave all of her teens, all of her 20s, all of her 30s, and she's given half of a decade of her 40s to somebody who doesn't even value her or appreciate her. And that is time that she cannot get back. I watched this, and I was like, dang. I was like, all this that she got going on, it does not matter, right? At the end of the day. Like, think about that. Think about how much time, right? Think about how much time we are out here wasting. Okay, and what you can't get back. And then at the same time, you're limited with it, right? So once you switch over to, okay, well, what can I earn? I mean, what can I learn, right? How can I learn to be more efficient? How can I learn, right, to create better systems? How can I learn to have better customer service? She did leave, and I was happy when she left, and she's in a much better relationship, and she's in a healthier relationship, and it was great to see. But you know what I mean? Like, I tell her all the time, I'm like, she helped me. That was one of the reasons I left and got out of my situation, because it was like a mirror. I could look at what was going on with her, and I was like, dang, this is going to be me. And like another 20 years, if I stay put, like, this is what's going to be going on. I was like, this ain't what I want. Like, I'm not trying to be out here stressed out, crying, tired, agitated all the time. No, ma'am, Pam. Okay. No, ma'am. I'm not here for it. So anyway, back to striving to learn. Okay. So most of us are out here in these streets working to earn. You're working for a check. You're working for an hourly wage instead of thinking, how can I improve my skill set? This is the thing. Most people on the planet Earth, like I would say 98 to 99% of people are consumers. They don't create. There's 1% of us, we create. Okay? So anytime you consume something, there's the ability to, take it into extinction, right? If you eat all of the pie on your plate, it ain't no more pie. Ain't no more pie gonna magically appear once you eat it all. You consumed it all, right? But if you invest, right, with your time, so if you go and you learn how to make a pie, well, then you can eat a pie every day because you can turn around and make a new pie every day, right? Blink, blink, blink. Think about it. It's a very simplistic example. But it's honestly the difference between, teaching someone how to fish and giving them a fish. If I give you a fish, you're going to eat this one meal. It's not even for one day. You're going to eat this one meal, right? And if I teach you how to fish, well, then you can eat, and not only can you eat, your neighbors can eat, your kids can eat, the other people in your community can eat. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's really serious whenever you start working to learn. And I don't necessarily mean going to get a college degree. I just mean learning more about your purpose, learning more about your skills and your talents and your gifts, learning how to become more efficient, learning how to really, flip your money and your cash, learning how to use, learning how to become resourceful with the resources that you have, learning more about your spirituality, learning how to have a stronger mindset, learning how to gain more endurance or to have perseverance, whatever. You just find something that you want to learn more about that's going to be conducive to your life, and go for what you know. But that will make a big shift in your life. It's made a huge shift in mine. And I'm not going to sit here and perpetrate and say that I've mastered it, because I haven't mastered it. But I am definitely at a point in my life where I'm more comfortable, and I seek out and I try to find people. If I'm weak in an area, if I'm weak in an area, or not necessarily if I'm weak in it, if it's something that I can delegate, I for sure will. I for sure will. So, like, for instance, all of the beautiful documents that y'all get, like when y'all get our digital products and stuff like that, I used to be the person who would spend 4 to 6 hours dressing those up and making them look good, right? But my time, honestly, is better served doing what we're doing right now, doing broadcasts, teaching and training people, putting together courses and classes, those sorts of types of things, working with my clients one-on-one. That's the better utilization of my time. That is not making a document look pretty, even though it's important. So I was able to outsource that. So Tracy makes all of those documents look gorgeous and beautiful now, right? That sort of type of thing. Inside of the customer service inbox or inside of our comment DMs, I'm in there sometimes, and sometimes I'm not. It's not good for me or for anyone who's a part of my team, if they want to get paid, for me to always be inside of an inbox. I'm supposed to be out and about and meeting and teaching and training and networking and shaking hands, right? I should be out doing something. I should be creating new products. I got to go on site visits. You have to figure out what's the best utilization of your time. And 80% of the business, honestly, can be outsourced to other people or other team members. And then there's 20% of things, that only you can do. So that sort of type of thing will help you. And then finally, number 7, a lot of people think about, what am I losing? You're always thinking about what you're giving up. I can't afford that. That costs too much. Why would I do that? That take too long. Instead of looking at, what can I get? What do I get? Right? When I switched my mindset to what do I get, it was almost like on my professional side, it was almost like acceleration. It was all of a sudden, it was literally all of a sudden, like 1 year of work giving me 10 years of results. because I stopped looking at things so much as saying, like, how much does it cost? Instead, I started looking at, well, what are the benefits? What do I get from this? How can I use this? How can I apply this? How is this going to, improve my life in some capacity? So whether it came to a course or a workshop, whether it was a training, whether it meant I had to go to a convention or a conference, whether it was me hiring or outsourcing someone to do some type of graphic or project for me, right? Or editing, it didn't matter, because, oh, okay, well, someone else edits, because that is something I'm weak in. I'm not a good editor. You would think as much as I film that I would be great at editing. I suck at editing, not what I do. Why should I spend 3 hours fumbling around to come up with something that's still going to look like crap? Real talk. At the end of the day, by the time it gets done, it's still going to look like crap. Why do I need to spend 3 hours doing that? And I can outsource it to someone who is very skilled and talented in the area of editing, right? And they can take the same thing that was going to take me 3 or 4 hours to do and turn around and get it done in 15 or 20 minutes, and it looks 1,000 times better, right? Okay, frustrated and upset like all day long. So at the end of the day, learning how to look at what you can get versus what you're giving up. For a long time, when I started working, I was under the impression and the mindset, I felt like I couldn't afford to hire someone. That's really what I thought for a long time. I thought, oh, I can't afford to hire anyone. But the truth was, I couldn't afford to not hire someone. And if you can delegate properly, right, number 6, what we talked about, and start working on working to learn instead of working to earn. And if you really look at what those people are supplying you with, if you put them in the proper positions, they will actually help you make more money. And they will also give you a peace of mind, and they will give you some time back that you need. If you are working consistently, constantly, and you have to wear 17 or 18 hats because you can only keep that show up for so long, you are going to experience burnout. And that's where you will see a lot of people that will be so close to getting what they've been working for. They're so close to success. That's where you will see them all of a sudden just kind of fall off of the map, or they'll have a breakdown, or they kind of like, it's almost like they crumbled under the pressure. It's not that they were crumbling under the pressure. They had honestly reached a point of exhaustion. There's only so far you can run with no rest. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody needs rest, and it becomes exhausting trying to carry all of that weight, all of those positions, all of those titles, and something is going to fall through the cracks. So switch your mind to, what do I get, instead of saying, what am I paying for, or what's the cost of this, or what am I losing, or what am I giving away. Start looking at what I'm gaining, and it will make things become so much easier to you, and they will become a lot clearer to you. And I feel like, I can't say I know, because I can't know for everybody in here, but I feel like for the majority of you in here, you will find that you're happier in life because you're seeing more progress, because now there's actually time to get the things done that need to be done. Shout out to Team Ashley Ann, because you guys helped me so much, okay? What does it say? Marginal benefit exceeds marginal cost. Real talk. Yes, God. It's very real. It's a very real concept. And don't sleep on sweat equity, y'all. Sweat equity is real. Just because somebody, just because someone does not necessarily have like financial support to pour into you, don't think that their efforts or their work is invalid. Because I love to work with people who will come in and put in some good old sweat equity. Time is valuable. I can make more money. We can't create more time. So when someone is willing to come in and give me that work and give me their time, I'm with it. I'm thankful for it. I'm grateful for it, because money can only go so far. I don't know how many of you guys have ever spent money on something or someone and you've been disappointed in it. Lord knows I've had my share of people that I have hired to do different projects, and they have not been completed on time or not been done to satisfaction. at the end of the day, right? Now I got my money gone and my time is gone. It's both. It sucks, okay? It sucks all day long. So those are the 7, you guys. We ran through them all. Oh, geez. Huh. Sorry, y'all. I just realized I don't have my driver's license. What a random time to remember that you don't have your driver's license. I really did just remember that, though. I'm going to work on finding that when this broadcast is over. You're so welcome. I know y'all probably like, what is going on? I literally just remembered I don't have my driver's license. I have no idea where it's at right now, and I need to find it. So, yes. Okay, so somebody asked, how did I get out of my funk that I was in? You may not like my answer to this, but it's the truth. I'm really big on accountability. So, okay. When you take accountability, that does not mean that, that does not mean that whoever hurt you or wronged you didn't do it or is not responsible for their actions. That's not what that means. And I think sometimes people think if I take accountability for something, that is taken away, the blame or the mistreatment. And it's not. It's just simply acknowledging your part and acknowledging things that you can do differently in the future, or if you're ever in that situation again. And in order to grow and to change, you have got to take accountability. You have got to, figure out how you got to where you are. You have got to acknowledge when you ignored things. You have got to, you've got to acknowledge when you've helped escalate situations. You've got to acknowledge, when you've taken stuff that you shouldn't have taken before. All of that is a part of accountability. And again, it's not saying that whoever hurt you or deceived you or wronged you, that they didn't do that. It's not taking away their responsibility. It's just honestly you assessing the situation and making sure that you know better so you can do better. So whatever situation you're in your life, I'm not going to say whatever, I'm not going to say all, but I do think that 80% of the things that we go through are self-inflicted. That's real talk. I really believe that. I'm not talking about things that happen when you're like a child. I'm not talking about natural disasters, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Yes, there will be a manifestation challenge this year. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about when you become a fully developed, grown, functional adult. And there are definitely some things, and I didn't say all, but I said 80% of the things that happen, we all have been in situations where there are clear signs when something was telling us no, or clear signs when there was something saying that it wasn't right. Or we have all been in situations where we have seen things and we have chosen to look the other way. Okay? That y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? There are times when people make you feel some way, and there's nothing wrong with what you feel, but you have to take responsibility for the way that you've acted, right? Or the way, or sometimes how you've not acted when you should have acted. So you got to take accountability and say, this is the part that I played in this. These are the missteps that I took, and so this is what I can do better in the future, right? That's number one, as far as digging your way out of the hole. And I just wanted to say that because sometimes I just wanted to give the spiel before about what accountability is or not, because sometimes when I say that, people get really upset with me. And they're like, oh, you're victim blaming. No, I'm not victim blaming. And I'm a woman who, I'm a domestic violence survivor. Like, if we're going to keep it funky, I don't really like to look at myself that way. But I was in an abusive marriage. It was mentally abusive, physically abusive, emotionally abusive, all of the above. And I came out of that thing, but I have to take accountability for some of the I was putting up with for a long time that I shouldn't have put up with, right? For trying to cover and hide, about what was really going on, all those sorts of types of things. So, and that doesn't mean that I deserve to get like punched or I deserve to get body slammed. That's not what I'm saying. But as an adult, you have to like acknowledge that you put yourself sometimes in some situations that you shouldn't have been in. And that I have to acknowledge that I stayed and put up with a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have stayed and put up with, right? And I have to acknowledge that it was not a good look for me to hide what was going on for so long from everyone around me and inside of my life. Like, you have to take, now that doesn't take away, that he was wrong for putting his hands on me. It doesn't take that away, but at the same time, you have to like acknowledge what part you played in things that have happened in your life that you're not too fond of. It is what it is. And if you don't want to acknowledge things, you're going to find yourself back in the same situation, and you're never going to be able to gather your power to propel yourself to move forward. And that's the truth, because to the victor goes the spoils, not to the victim. If you're victims don't have power, okay? Victims are powerless. Once you decide that you want to be victorious over your situation, that's when you're going to be able to change things inside of your life and start to take the steps to progress in the way that you need to. So accountability and acknowledgement is, number one. And then number two, think about the type of life that you want. Hey, Ginger, it's very true. Think about the life that you want and write it down. Like a dead serious, write it down. Like, get a notebook, get a paper, get a laptop, get a tablet. I don't care. Whatever you want for your life, you need to write it down. And some of y'all are going to have a difficult time with that, because you would be amazed at how many people, when I ask them what they want in their life, they really don't know. A lot of people have no vision. A lot of people have no direction. They're just kind of out here like day to day, like, I don't know. I'm out here living. I'm just making sure I don't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people. So like, literally think about, what do you want for your life, and write it down, because that's going to be the first steps to you creating your new life and walking in the right direction. And you don't have to get it all figured out overnight. But just find one thing on that list and make an action plan and say, what do I have to do to make this happen? I got to get out of the bed and, fill out some applications and turn in some resumes. I'm going to make myself a goal to fill out 10 job applications a day. 10 job applications a day. That's what I'm going to do. That's going to be my goal, right? If that's what you want. I want to be, maybe it's some position in your company that you want. And, there's an extra certification you need or some type of test or exam. Okay, well, I'm going to go to Books A Million, and I'm going to get the For Dummies version of that book, and I'm going to start studying, and I'm going to take pre-test, and I'm going to get my certification, right? So I can get whatever that position is. Like, literally just write down everything in the life that you want and just pick one thing and make an action plan and start moving towards it. That was literally how I got myself out of my hole. When there is no knowledge, people perish. True. Education of ourselves is key. Education of surrounding is key. That's real talk. That is very real talk. Super real talk. So that's that. That's how I got out of the hole. And a lot of people are very comfortable being sad and being the victim, because it's nice to have people say, "Oh my God, poor you, boo boo boo. Oh my God, look at that baby. Somebody help her, Lord Jesus. She been through such a tough time. Girl, come over here and lay in my bosom." Okay, you got about 3 days of that and feeling sorry for yourself. And then you need to get up and get it popping, because life goes on. Real talk. Life continues. And whether you want to move forward or not, everything else and everyone else on the planet is still moving. And this is for my ladies. Okay, this is just for y'all. I can't speak to the men in the room, but for my ladies, I need for you to, stop with all this whining and pining and suffering and upsetness over some dude that is no longer in your life. and it's years or months and months gone by. Does he still want me? Is he thinking about me the way I think about him? One day he gonna realize what he did, and he is gonna feel so. Look, I got news for you. Sometimes there are people on the planet who are just selfish, and sometimes there are people who don't realize how badly they hurt you. And sometimes it's because they don't have the capacity to, depending on how they grew up or their childhood or whatever was going on. And I'm going to need y'all. You got to start learning how to move on for yourself, and you're going to have to start learning how to move on without an apology. There are lots of people on the planet who are going to wrong you, hurt you, harm you. Some of them will be intentional, but a lot of them will be unintentional, and you're never going to get an I'm sorry. You're never going to get an apology. Move on. And if the apology comes, whenever it comes, and you say, oh, what a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that. But a lot of people, you sitting around waiting on pause for 2 or 3 years, or waiting for some big aha moment for someone to realize how badly they hurt you, is not going to happen. Okay. And whoever told you, whoever put this lie here, about, he dogged me out. He probably can't even sleep at night. Girl, your friends are lying to you. Blink, blink, blink. That Negro, I'm not going to say the word that I really want to say. That Negro is in bed, resting fine. He probably is in bed with another woman, not even thinking about you. Blink, blink, blink. I'm just keeping it funky with you. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I want you to go on and be great in your life, and not spend time and energy holding on to things that are not serving you and things that you need to let go. Prayer is a dang good start. I just got to keep it funky with you. That men are not wired like us. They don't think like us. They don't feel like us. Men and women are totally different. It is what it is. And it's not that one of us is better than the other. We're just different. And come on, Black Lacquer. He wasn't thinking about you then when he was cheating on you, and he ain't thinking about you now. So if it's somebody you're going to let go, you need to let them go. Because I see women all the time, like, I'm leaving him because I'm trying to teach him a lesson, or he going to miss me and he going to see this and see it. Don't do that. If you're not ready to leave, don't leave. You leave when you're ready to when you're ready to leave, and you leave because you're done. But stop sitting out here trying to set up these traps for people. Then you be sitting out here looking ignorant with your feelings hurt. It don't work like that. And there are some people, I know it's very difficult for you to perceive this. There are some people, they really have no concept of how badly they hurt you. And that's male or female. There are some people, they just don't get it because they don't have the ability to see life through your perception and through your lens. So I'm going to just need you to build a bridge and get over it and go on about your business. How did you stay consistent in the beginning? How did I stay consistent in the beginning? So I thought about my overall picture of where I wanted to go. And then I just focused on my little day-to-day task and action plan. Because this is the thing. When there's a big goal that you're trying to accomplish, it's like sometimes you can't spend every day looking at the finish line. I can't spend every day, with my eyes on the prize, because sometimes the prize is so far away, I can't see it. And I would get discouraged if I just looked at the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have the ultimate goal in my mind, and I write it out, and I say, this is what I'm doing. And then I would break it down into my action steps. And so I would literally just focus on my task or my list to get done that day. And so as long as I'm knocking things off of that list for that day, well, I'm accomplishing something, right? It's those little small successes. And that's what kept me going. And then every time I would get a win, like a customer or a client or a follower or something like that, then I was like, okay, it's working. And so once you keep that up for a while, you look back down the road, and all of a sudden, it was 1 mile, and now you're 20 miles, and now you're 100 miles away from where you first started. So that's the way I pretty much did it. Yeah, the steps help a lot. Steps help so much. Ooh. Okay, we just lost our connection in Instagram land. It's cool because I think we're about out of time anyway for today. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet Earth. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. If it's morning time or daytime where you are, have a productive and a prosperous day. If it's evening time, get a good night's rest. Thank you for all of the hearts, you guys. I appreciate them so much. I hope you have a fabulous night and a fabulous day. Thank you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for everyone who invited and shared and helped me out with my little janky notifications tomorrow so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to do something really useful. You're going to be really excited. That's all I can tell you. It's going to be lit. Okay, it's going to be lit. It's going down tomorrow. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Like what we teach, work. If y'all know someone that needs the information, make sure you let them know. Go to bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N. You can do anything. Like what we teach, work.